hydrate before I get into this one. Let me hydrate. Let me hydrate before I get into this one. Y'all see the pink comment, man? Y'all see the pink comment? Let's break it down. Let's get into some synastry today. Let's get into some synastry today, y'all. Happy Mars Day, everyone. Happy Mars Day, everyone. Happy Mars Day. Astro Lady in the building. Day Renee in the building. Chanel Goddess Vibes in the building. Empress Kira in the building. Y'all tapping what Empress Kira mean. All right. I'm loving my Libras in the building. Y'all better love the Libras. Y'all better love us. All right. Yes, Synastry. Yes. Yes, Synastry. I'm tight. I just did that. Y'all just gassed me to be a bird just now. Love a girl champ. Yeah, you know. Uyo Kiro, Aura Jade. All right. Soul Rebel. How y'all feeling? Under the Sagittarius moon? All right. You know what I like about this alignment with the Sun in Taurus and a Sagittarius moon? Sagittarius energy knows Sagittarius energy knows that being too serious will stress you. Being too serious will, overwhelm you. Sagittarius is way better than... It does a way better job than other signs letting things go, right? Sagittarius does a way better job than other signs keeping things light. And they do that by looking at things from a philosophical point of view. So like, damn, I lost my job, but you know what? The positive in it is boom, 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 boom. You know what? This is just a new cycle for this, that, and the third. You know what? I ain't like this, that, and that shit was restricting my energy in the first place. So with us being in these vibes with the moon in Sagittarius and now with the sun in Taurus, it helps us to look at everything we done accumulated since we're at the end of Taurus season. It helps us to look at everything we done accumulated during Taurus season and not be too heavy on ourselves as to what progress we didn't make, what quotas we didn't meet, right? It helps us to look at all of these things from, okay, we did this, that, and the third during Taurus season. What is there to learn? You feel me? Let's not be too heavy on ourselves for the amount of progress that we set goals to make and we didn't. How can we adjust things? What's in the way? Sagittarius helps you to just get straight to solutions. Sometimes we look at things from too much of a practical aspect, too much of a linear aspect. But sometimes you have to be able to step out your body and be like, all right, maybe it's not just my plan or how I'm organizing things. Maybe it's just timing. Maybe I need to work with more patience. So Sagittarius energy is just going to find all them other traits to add into what you're doing to keep things light. All right. Now, y'all see the title. I want to get into this synastry. You feel me? Get into the synastry. We got Chechi in the building, and it ain't alive until Chechi's in the building. We got Bel Papilona in the building. All right, y'all. So, earlier today, I posted that TikTok with what's her name? Keyshia Cole and Antonio Brown. And when they came out with their music video and everything, of course, whenever we have a celebrity couple or whatnot, that's gonna jump all over the media. All right. Antonio Brown has had his controversy, this year, especially in the NFL season. We kind of know the history of some things Keyshia Cole has been through, her relationships, and a lot of that has been publicized or whatnot. So, we have a good history of these guys, all right? And it's funny because you can just see, when the music video was posted, even though some people was giving props to the music video, when Antonio Brown was posting her, when Keyshia Cole was posting AB, you can just see the comments that people knew this was a train that was about to crash sooner or later. It was a train that was about to crash sooner or later. Now, with that being said, that's what made me dive into the astrology, because I wanted to see, okay, like I said, astrology is always going to make things make sense. The relationship from a surface level point of view, that shit don't make sense. So it's like, damn, how did that even come together? And not even about how it came together. Like, Like, wow, Keyshia Cole, you built a strong attachment. Like, we not even nowhere near y'all, but we could feel that shit. Cancer energy always make you feel shit even if you're not there. It's just, you got a strong presence. It's the moon. However, you know, when I got into the alignments and I'm really looking at how things align, I'm like, damn, you got to understand how certain energies attract each other. All right. When you have friction, when you have like them squares, opposites, once again, that can bring strong attraction. All right. So it may be a challenge at times finding understanding and compatibility, but that alone brings the attraction. So I only try to I only could get into a few key alignments in the TikTok. So I just want to go ahead and break some things down. I'm going to go ahead and break some things down so you guys could go ahead and take this to now I'm not on YouTube right now. This is going to go up on YouTube though. So y'all could take this and then, you know, apply it to, you know, synastry situations in y'all life. Now look, this is something y'all got to understand about Keyshia Cole. She has a couple of alignments that she's dealing with karma in this lifetime. And remember, when I use the word karma, you know, we don't have to always attach a negative connotation to it. Karma is simply things that energy that you accumulated that you have to deal with when it spins back around. You can have good karma, you can have bad karma. But as far as looking at her chart, you could definitely see certain areas of emphasis on her life just looking at it. Now, if you guys look at her 4th house, this is very important because people question, a lot of people question Keyshia Cole's delusion. They question her delusion. They question her discernment, picking mates. And then the thing about Keyshia Cole is it's not about what she's doing in her private life and how she dates. It's more so the fact that shit get publicized when she's going through the distress and the turmoil. You know, she has a way of kind of complaining about things. All right. Now, guys, whenever you see a chart, or for you guys that have a lot of planets in one house, 3 planets is already a lot of energy. You know, stellium is 3 or more planets in the house. So regardless of what the planet's in, you got to understand, just having 3 planets in the house, this lifetime, that area of your life is very active. It's going to go through a lot of transformations. It's going to pull, I was watching the 7th House Lord video all over again just now. Yup. Y'all go ahead and check out my signs through the 7th house series. All right, today I'm going to get up the first half of signs through the 8th house series. All right, I've been dying to get to the 8th house because I feel like that's a house that's very, for others is hard to understand. You know, so much things go into the 8th house. You feel me? So y'all stay tuned for that. Sub to the YouTube. But 3 or more planets in the house is already a bunch of energy. It's already a lot of energy. So you gotta understand, if you got a stellium in some type of shape or form, what you experienced in your past life made you incarnate here to be very active in this area of life. You know, this area of life is gonna pull a lot of experiences for you. Okay. And ultimately, how I like to look at stelliums it's a place of, this is going to be an area of your life that you want to make sure you're constantly evolving in, because it's going to push you to constantly evolve. You sign contracts to have this house be very active. So you'll always manifest people, places, and things, you know, to interact with in this house. So when we look at Keyshia Cole being a Cancer rising, when we look at the ascendant sign, guys, you could say the ascendant sign is the life path of becoming that energy. So I use myself for example. I'm a Libra sun. So when I take my actions, when I express myself, I do these things in a Libra way, you know, using my thoughts, using communication, and thinking from a relatable standpoint. Now, I'm a Capricorn rising. So in this lifetime, I manifest a lot of people, places, and things in my first house that deal with Capricorn-like energies. So I may have a lot of personal friends that like to build and structure. I may manifest a lot of responsibility in my first house that teaches me how to be more disciplined with myself. That teaches me the significance of self-development, patience, earning things. You know, karma is heavy with a Saturn ruled chart. All right. So by default, you know, what goes around comes around. We're going to learn that lesson at an early age. But with all those things, and with that sign being in your first house, what that's doing, it's molding your personality. All right, through these circumstances, through you dealing with those people, places, and things that correlate with that energy in your first house, it's gonna mold your personality in a certain way. And as you have that molded in the first house, as you experience what you experience in the first house, whether you're a Cap rising, whether you're a Cancer rising, and you're dealing with heavy emotions with other people and dealing with, understanding how to protect your emotions in the first house and having discernment what to react to and invest in and care about, whether you're a Gemini rising and you're learning in this lifetime how to deal with the thoughts of others, the critiques of others, understanding how to critique yourself in a positive way, in a productive way, allowing yourself not to be stagnant based off your thoughts, okay? Being able to see the detail to how people personally express yourself and gather wisdom with interaction, relationships, whether you it don't matter what your rising sign is, but understand what you're going through in that first house, it's traveling through your chart. So you start at the first house, the I am. You go through the characteristics, the energies that's there, right? And now you move into the second house with that personality. Now you move into the third house with that personality. Then you move into the fourth house with that personality. The fourth house is a square to the first house, right? So this is where you're going to deal with some real friction based off your personality, aka in the home. It don't matter what your rising sign is, you're always going to have some friction with the things that you're individually into and your home environment in some type of shape or form. All right? Then we travel to the 4th, 5th, 6th. Then when we get to the 7th house, another cardinal house. Now this is the opposite house. So another house that's going to have a lot of friction for our personality, because this is the opposite house. Now we're dealing with relationships. So now we're learning about ourselves through seeing the opposite of our energy in our relationships and other people. And now we start to realize, like, damn, regardless of what I individually perceive things to be, regardless of my individual outlook, I have to learn how to balance that in relationships, right? And then we go through the 8th, 9th, and then when we get to the 10th house, last cardinal house, that's dealing with your social status. How you brand yourself, how you broadcast yourself to the world, how you project yourself to the world, career, foundation in life. So this is what the personality is going to have friction with here. We got to take our personality and find ways, to develop a social status in the world. Be known for something, have notoriety for something, build some stability in the earth realm. So you are becoming your rising sign. You are becoming your rising sign. So yeah, I'm a Libra, but in this lifetime, I'm going through things that mold me as a Capricorn. I'm just going through it with Libra actions. You might be a Leo rising, but you a Cancer sun. So through this lifetime, you're understanding what it is to be a Leo. You're understanding how to develop characteristics of a Leo. You're living the lifestyle of things Leo energy deals with, but you're just going through it with Cancer-like actions and a Cancer-like awareness, okay? So I had to break that down because Keyshia Cole is a Cancer rising, all right? And then she's a Libra sun. That is a square. That is a square. So these signs are going to naturally clash. And there's going to be conflict within her self-identity because a part of her wants to lead with the emotions, right? A part of her may want to control situations with her relationships and her environment with her emotions, right? By default, that's kind of her personal outlook. She may make a lot of personal decisions based off her intuition and how she feels about things and how much she cares about something. But the fact that she has a Libra sun tries to lead with, their thoughts about things, with the initial thought they have about things is cardinal air. So a lot of Libras like to be the person to bring the new idea for everybody to follow. This is why Libras could get a little hurt when they bring an idea to the team, or they bring they got something they're working on, a project they're working on, they introduce it to their friend or somebody, expecting their friend to critique it, say, yeah, this is dope, this, that, and third. And when that's not received, a Libra could feel a type of way because it's cardinal air. They want to be the one that started the idea. They want to be the one to make sure that everybody say, like, yeah, the Libra came up with that idea. So that's the conflict here. You have somebody dealing with relationships. And then because they're Cancer, sometimes they could put too much care into relationships. Sometimes they're going to make too many decisions in their relationships that's purely emotional. And it could be hard to find the balance between making rational decisions in your relationships despite how you feel. Okay, you could get lost in the emotion of a relationship. So that's just a natural water air sign cardinal clash. It could have been her moon in Cancer, her rising in Libra, her moon in Libra, her sun in Cancer. It's in her big three, so that's going to be a part of her characteristics and her self-identity. Now, that's the first thing to look at with Keyshia Cole. Like, damn, why you began so invested into these relationships and losing yourself? Or how do you allow yourself to lose yourself in relationships, or give up so much of yourself in relationships? Then you act like you're victimized and whatnot. Not knowing that we're all adults and we need to have discernment with the partners we pick and the things that we stand for in relationships. If you don't stand for anything, if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. And take that into your relationships. Yes, I understand at times when you really see potential in somebody and you start to develop some real true emotions for somebody and you see potential to establish a dope connection, sometimes we do sacrifice. Sometimes we do compromise more than we want to make something work. But, it comes to a point y'all got to make sure that y'all not losing yourself in relationships. And that could be hard to do when you got this type of alignment, That Libra sun gets so invested in the other party and doing things to suit the needs of the other party. And as a Cancer personality, you don't know sometimes how much you're dropping your personal guards in this first house to make things happen. Could be really conflicting here. So I understand what Keyshia Cole is experiencing in this lifetime, having problems finding that balance between her emotions and how she connects them with others. And then having a stellium in the 4th house. That is a heavy fucking stellium. That is a heavy motherfucking stellium. So not only is with Libra in the 4th house, she had Cancer rising. So what happens here for Cancer risings, when they got Libra in the 4th house, a lot of Cancer risings had to learn to develop the responsibility to compromise and relate, consider the other party in the home, consider their parents' outlook, consider the outlook of their siblings or the people they care for. And that's hard for a Cancer to do all the fucking time, because in the 1st house, they have a strong conviction for the things they're personally into. They have a strong, now they're they got real big hearts though, and they give a lot. Cancer risings, they give a whole lot. All right. However, this sun feel mad good, but I can't even keep my eyes open. She been trying to balance the family. There you go. As a moon in Cancer and Libra rising, I feel called out. I'm sure you could relate to the energy, I'm sure. Go to Confucius in the building. Wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. All right, so, I'm sure you could relate, Golden Confucius, having to make sure that, you pace yourself emotionally in relationships, especially when you really like somebody or you see a potential in a relationship. Emotions can be extreme. You can develop attachment real quick, get so invested in the connection. Cancer energy is about connecting. And when they find something to harmonious connect with, that's a precious thing. It becomes a sacred thing to a Cancer. It becomes a sacred thing to somebody with big Cancer energy. So wax on, wax off, facts. So with saying all of that, with that Libra in the 4th house, a lot of Cancer rising, this is what they go through with Libra in the 4th house. So you care so much about things, about how you want to conduct things personally as a Cancer rising, right? And then when you get in the 4th house, there's going to be times you're forced to compromise no matter what you care about. You're forced to compromise with Libra in the 4th house. A lot of Cancer risings can also develop, especially Keyshia Cole, because her sun is in Libra and she has a lot of planets in Libra. She may have had to take responsibility for teaching others in the home how to deal with compromise. So it's almost like, she really cared about things that she wanted to manifest or create in the 1st house, has her heart invested in things, in personal milestones that she wants to bring into life. But then when it gets to the 4th house, she's forced to compromise. She's forced to, build balance. She may get in the middle of a lot of situations, having to mediate with family. And because her son is there, there's going to be times when she wants to say, no, fuck that. This is unreasonable. I shouldn't be compromising that. But then she feels like it's her duty to be the bigger person. So that could be very conflicting there. Now, when you got a stellium like this in the 4th house, Saturn, Jupiter, Sun, Pluto, Mercury. So she has light planets in there, Sun, Mercury, Jupiter. Then she got some malefics in there, Pluto and Saturn. So it's a whole movie when it comes to what she's here to understand when it comes to her emotional well-being and stability. I believe she has a shaky relationship with her mother, I believe. You know, I didn't do too much backtracking with Keyshia Cole's life. I just kind of remember that her relationship, trials and tribulations used to be publicized a lot. But I do believe she had like some type of shaky relationship with her mother. All right. When you got planets like Saturn or Pluto in the 4th house, we can see things like that with the mother. We could see things like that with the connection with the mother or with the parents. We could see being raised by one parent with Saturn in the 4th house. Broken home, Saturn in the 4th house. You having to develop a lot of responsibility in the home, Saturn in the 4th house. You taking care of your parents. You having to work early, take care of your family. You being the father or mother as a 16, 17, 18-year-old, 15-year-old kid for your younger siblings with energies like Saturn in the 4th house, right? Because there's a sense, oh, wow, that sun went down. That shit was busting just now. So you can have those type of energies develop here, all right? And that shit could start taking a real toll on your emotional well-being to the point that you start feeling like you always got to work on relationships. From Keyshia Cole perspective with Saturn and Libra here, you always got to take the authority to work relationships, possibly control relationships, structure relationships. You might even start forgetting the effort that somebody else need to put in relationships. So you literally could get lost working on a relationship. Keyshia, who is she famous or something? Don't do Keyshia like that. Don't do Keyshia like that. Keyshia got some soul touching hits now. Y'all can't even listen to Keyshia Cole's songs and not motherfucking shed tears. You can't even listen to and she got that Cancer energy, so you know you gonna feel that shit. Y'all can't even listen to Keyshia Cole songs and not think about the last motherfucker you loved, the last motherfucker did you dirty. Like, I should have cheated on that motherfucker. As much as motherfucker accused me of cheating. No bullshit. No, okay, thank you, Dawn. Her mom had addiction issues. So that brings us into Pluto in the 4th house. So Pluto's gonna bring some we could see passed on traumas in the 4th house. When you got energies like Pluto in the 4th house, because guys, Pluto deals with transformation and deals with rebirths. So you gotta understand the area you have Pluto in your life. You may incarnate with something in that area that's forcing you to always, shed old skin, or there may be an example in that area to help you understand, how to deal with or understand the roots of trauma. So that's crazy. So her having her mother have addiction in the home, that could have been an example to her. She probably said shit like that because my mom was on drugs and made me never want to fuck with drugs. I'm pretty sure she probably said some shit like that. So, Pluto's going to have that influence in the 4th house. Realistically speaking, you may deal with forms of abuse with Pluto in the 4th house. And that may be something that you have to go through and understand, how to shed skin and understand how to deal with those wounds. Pluto's very heavy in the 4th house. There's really no sugarcoating that shit there. Now these individuals have strong healing properties though. They have very strong healing properties with Pluto in the 4th house. They're forced to deal with doing some deep diving when it comes to the subconscious and understanding the subconscious of others. and this is why you may manifest this placement, because as a spirit, you may be the one to take on some of this family karma to transcend it in some type of shape or form. You know, you may be the one that in your family with Pluto in the 4th house with this type of alignment that has a child that, you know, your parents you were born into a toxic situation. You know, your parents had a toxic, traumatic relationship. Now you a karmic baby. You was born into it, and now you experienced the fucking trauma with your parents, and then that motivates you to transform the family lineage. Now your parents, you start raising your children a certain way, so your parents start seeing, you know, what you transcended through your grandkids and shit. People with Pluto in the 4th house take on a lot of those responsibilities and sign contracts for shit like that in this lifetime. She was also raised in a foster system. Y'all could go on my YouTube. Go on my YouTube and look at I haven't did planets through the houses yet on my YouTube, but Saturn's ruled by Saturn rules Capricorn and shit. Saturn rules Aquarius. Go to my YouTube and look at what I'm saying when you have Capricorn and Aquarius in the 4th house. AKA when you have a Saturn ruled 4th house or Saturn in the 4th house. That you're going to have shit like that there. You know, raised in a foster home, raised by your grandparents. You know, once again, you taking care of your grandparents, you know. So, I feel for Keyshia. I feel for her. Because I understand what she's experienced in this lifetime. That's why her music fucking be busting. That's the fuck why. Y'all don't understand. She's gonna be a talented songwriter. She got a Libra stellium. So she got Sun, Mercury all up in Libra, you know, so that's dealing with the connection experiences from relationships and whatnot. You know, Libra real artsy, deal with lyricism, cadence, you know, rhythm, flows. And so she's gonna have those influences, but the fact that all of this is taking place in the 4th house, the fact that she's a Cancer rising, you gonna feel the conviction, you gonna feel the trauma, you gonna feel the hurt. Motherfuckers was in elementary school singing that shit. In 6th grade talking about, I shouldn't cheat. Like, they had us. How the fuck artists be having us in 6th grade talking about all these heartbreak songs? We don't know shit about love at that age. We don't know a goddamn thing about love. Then once you get to your first karmic relationship in your early 20s or in college, late high school, you get into your first karmic relationship. I know what the fuck Keyshia talking about. But that Cancer energy gonna help you understand that shit early, you know? But this is why. You got that mixture of that Cancer. Listen, artists that have water and air alignments, and this is not to take... There's talented artists with all type of elements. There's no zodiac sign is like, these are the best artists. Libras and Pisces and Leos. No, it don't work like that. There's an Aries that's a talented rapper, all the way down to Pisces that's a talented rapper. There's an Aries that's a talented ass vocalist, all the way down to a Pisces that's a talented vocalist. There's an Aries that's a great songwriter, all the way down to a Pisces that's a great songwriter. It's just that they're gonna project their music differently, and there's all different type of alignments that deal with how we push out our creativity. But people with heavy air and water alignments, I find this to be a very powerful thing with music, because air is naturally going to deal with relationships. It don't matter if it's Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini energy. There's going to be something with relationships in that. Aquarius might talk about relationships in the hood a bit more. Relationships with the plug. Business relationships. Who they know in the streets. How they get around. How they could how they could pay their shooters $100K to get you done. Aquarius shit might be a little bit more harsh with Saturn. Might not be that much lovey-dovey shit. Rick Ross type shit. Or it's going to be more of an abstract way of thinking of relationships. J. Cole type shit. Now, when you throw the water in the mix, when you throw water in the mix with the air, they're going to pull all the subconscious understandings from relationships. They're going to be able to relate. They're going to be able to relate what a lot of us have experienced dealing with love, connection, heartbreak, loss. They throw all the emotion into that shit. But because it's air, they're going to have a way of articulating it, you know? So that shit becomes so powerful. Future has water air alignments. Drake has water air alignments. Look at the emotion. Look at the emotion them two niggas put into fucking relationships. They both do. Future be sounding hurt, bitter. He sound like he got so much shit pent up. That nigga need a therapist. But he articulate that shit in a fire way. Drake, the fucking Cancer, Cancer moon, Libra, Scorpio sun. So, goddamn, he's always talking about how his heart is invested in relationships, how to invest his heart in relationships. You know, the time that shit wasn't reciprocated. The Leo rising is gonna pop out from time to time and come out with the I'll stun on a bitch type music, you know. Who these hoes is to me type music. You feel me? I get whatever chick I want type music. The Leo motherfucking Regulus personality, that shit gonna motherfucking come out. That shit gonna come out from time to time. But for the most part, them niggas be caring. Them niggas' emotions be involved in relationships, no matter how that shit look. All right? And this is something that is important when we get to AB, when we get to Antonio Brown, because he has water and air alignments. All right? So, yeah, that's something I just picked up with, you know, artists, period. But that fourth house stellium is fucking heavy, okay? So we got Saturn in there, responsibilities, having to work and build things in the home, possibly having some form of a broken home in some type of shape or form, right? But also on the positive side, being able to become resilient with your emotional well-being. What Saturn could start doing here is helping you understand how to build healthy guards so people can't penetrate your fourth house so easily. You know, you start having more discernment, understanding how to let people in the fourth house. Keyshia need to keep up with her lessons though, because it seems like she's not understanding that. But that's what Saturn's going to do. Then Pluto, a lot of emotional transformation, a lot of understanding about, you know, traumas and wounds in the home, learning from, may have some wounds passed on from the family, but you came here to take responsibility to transcend that in your family lineage, right? Understanding how to create a better safe space in a comfort zone based off of, you know, things that have transformed with the people, places, and things that you've connected to. You know, Pluto helps you to evolve emotionally here. All right. So once again, this is why these people can be great, understanding the emotions of others, counseling others, because they went through so much transformation in the fourth house that they may understand the type of mindset, or, you know, that you need to have to take the positive and the lesson from it and grow from it. Because trust me, they've dealt with shit. They've dealt with some shit here. All right, they've dealt with some shit here. Now, when we get to the lighter planets, the Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter, the Sun shows this is her purpose in her lifetime, to gain awareness of the fourth house, gain awareness of how to deal with your emotions in the subconscious, gain awareness of the relationship that how her relationships in the home and her home environment affects her relationships and her pursuits in life. The Sun in the fourth house is gonna wear their emotions on the sleeve. She's gonna have to understand how that affects how she goes into situations in her life, how she expresses herself, and her appearance. So there's going to be a lot of times a Sun in the fourth house person or a Sun in Cancer person may have people tell them, you know, you can't let your emotions control you. You know, that's the difference between like a Sun in Cancer, Sun in fourth house, and like a Moon in Cancer person. A Moon in Cancer person does a way better job not having their emotions be worn on their sleeve. They do a better job concealing it. You know, not the Sun Cancers, y'all babies. Y'all crybabies. Y'all crybabies. Y'all gonna wear that emotion. Y'all gonna wear that emotion on y'all motherfucking sleeve. Y'all gonna express that shit. Your partner gonna know when some shit is up. You know, fuck that. They gonna feel this shit. I'm finna change the wave. I'm finna change the environment, the vibration in the room. Before, not even saying nothing. I know my facial expression. I know they know I mean business right now type shit. So That's motherfucking straight up sun and Cancer energy. It's not going to do all that like, you know what, I feel this way. You know, let me not let my emotions, let me try to understand the emotions a bit, you know. Cancer moon, I'm not trying to play the Cancer suns, but the Cancer moon just kind of is a bit more emotionally intelligent, and the sun in Cancer has to grow that. Remember, the moon is home in Cancer. The sun isn't. So the moon in Cancer is more understanding of what the responsibility with Cancer energy is. You know, it's not to have the emotions control you. It's to understand your emotions and understand, you know, how you're going to navigate things based off of how you feel. The sun in Cancer don't take that much time to process emotions like that. As you mature, as you get older, as you go through your first Saturn returns and shit, the sun in Cancer going to start learning. As the sun in Cancer person starts going through more relationships in their life, actually starts caring for more people in life, then they're going to start learning like, damn, I'm kind of impulsive with my emotions. I got to have more discernment with these shits. You know, I kind of jump into things a little bit head first with my emotions, depending on how I feel, you know. So the sun in Cancer is going to develop that. It's just that the moon in Cancer kind of got that gift by default, because that's the moon in Cancer. All right. Now, so this is Keyshia. Remember, the house that you have the sun in is really a huge purpose in this lifetime, you know. And this is what she's here to understand. This is what she's here to understand. And because she's a Libra, you know, in a way she has fulfilled her purpose with diving into her music career, dealing with that art, because that started to become somewhat of a release of certain things dealing with that fourth house. I know it is. Especially when people started connecting with her all over the world, telling her like, yo, this song helped me through this, that, and the third. That is very fulfilling with the alignments that she has. She's using her experiences to help other people understand that going through certain things with the subconscious, whether you're a celebrity, singer, millionaire, or, you know, you're Joe Schmo, that this is a human experience, and we all go through these things. We all got to evolve through these things, you know. It can happen to anybody. Anybody could get their fucking heart broke. Anybody could this, that, and the third. So that's fulfilling. That's when you start taking your experiences and you helping bring an understanding and awareness to others by the way you express it or deal with creativity or teach it in some type of shape or form. She's gaining awareness with her son in this house. It's just hard to maintain a lot of that shit with all the transformation she may go through here. You feel me? Now, so she got that going on with the sun in here, and then Mercury's in her fourth house, so she's gonna always be thinking about her the people, places, and things she care about. You know, these things may overwhelm her mind. Is in Libra, so she might be overly, remember, all these energies are in Libra, so all of this emotion can turn into things that she's overly considering with other people. If you have a stellium in Libra, you can be overly passive. If you have a stellium and a lot of planets in Libra, you can be overly passive, and then you can manifest situations where you create extreme moments because you feel a buildup of your passive energies, and then you could snap with that stellium in Libra, and it could put you in a situation now that, you know, you kind of just moving like a full-fledged Aries, and that's very unbalanced because that's not really your energy, but you felt like you had to jump into that opposite energy to feel more balanced. So a lot of people with heavy Libra energy got to go through that shit. I know I went through that shit, you feel me? And it's to the point that shit is it can become very unhealthy. I'll be ready to slap people for nothing. And that shit, I'll be having to realize, like, this person ain't really do nothing to me. Like, I don't have a long history with this person. I'm just probably taking some shit from a nigga that bullied me. From a nigga that bullied me in elementary school or some shit. I'm just waiting to fucking catch a wreck. So you got to be able to pick up on that shit if you got heavy Libra energies, y'all. But with all that shit being said, this is what Keyshia Cole's experiencing here. And then she also has Jupiter in this house. So she has the planet that is very tough to have in this house, Saturn, because it's opposite. So she has the planet that's debilitated in this house. Saturn's home in the 10th house. So it deals with building in the physical, the physical reality. You know, building structure in your life, building businesses, building foundation. But she got in the 4th house. So Saturn is mad practical about building in the home. All right. But then she got Jupiter in here, which is the exaltation here. So Jupiter helps develop, you know, new beliefs among experiences in the subconscious. Jupiter in the 4th house is very strong. A lot of clairvoyant people have this placement. A lot of healers have this placement. A lot of people that deal with, you know, you can be real empathic with this placement. Jupiter in the 4th house. You develop a lot of emotional dependence with this placement. People rely on you to feel emotionally stable. So no matter how unstable Keyshia Cole might look, I bet you in some type of shape or form, she holds up some stability for people in her life. I bet you in some type of shape or form. Possibly even her mom. I think her mom passed, but possibly with her mom in some shit, some type of way. So, you know, this is all this motherfucking conflict in the fourth house. All these energies. I don't even want to say conflict. All these... Damn. All these energies keeping her active in the fourth house, right? Now, this is important to understand what I'm about to say, guys. She has all these energies in the fourth house, right? Now, we know when we look at house lords, that's the direction, all right? Yes, Saturn does very well in Libra, but Saturn can also overwhelm itself trying to take responsibility for fixing relationships and building relationships. They're going to develop a real no-nonsense type of approach to dealing with people. But the thing is with this, her Saturn at times doesn't get to do what it wants to do in Libra because she has her Cancer personality squaring it. So if Keyshia's rising was in Gemini, you know, she was born 2 hours earlier than she was, and her rising was in Gemini, this would be a different story. You know, she would still have the square between Cancer and all these Libra energies. But that would change a lot in her chart. But then again, the Cancer's not her personality no more. Now it's air. So you got an air personality. When you got Saturn and trying to cut off, restrict, organize within relationships, your air personality gonna look at it like, okay, I get that. That makes sense. It's logic. Ain't no emotion involved. But Cancer is the Cancer personality. You know, once they let you come into the first house, they don't want to feel bad. Like once you work hard to get into a Cancer's first house and they build a trust with you or something, and then, you know, they develop some real care and a connection with you, they kind of don't want to let that out the first house that easy, because it probably took some time to let that come in the first house. So they could even be a little in denial. It's like, nah, did I really just let this motherfucker in the first house and they doing me dirty? That's where the delusion come from. This is where a lot of the delusion come from. You know? It's like, fuck. It's like, you don't want to believe that you want to believe that you discerning with Cancer in the first house. You want to believe with the moon in the first house, you had a strong intuition on who to build connection with or not. So once you realize that something's going left, now you start being too hard on yourself as a Cancer rising. You start being too hard on yourself. You feel me? When you're not supposed to be that hard on yourself, it's an experience. It happens. You just gave more wisdom, that's all. But we know how people with Cancer energy do. It's a lot of moon energy. If you don't have Cancer placements, you can't understand. You can't understand how you could just get emotionally consumed by situations in your life when you have big moon energy. I'm the opposite. I got a bunch of Capricorn energy. There's shit that I don't give a fuck about and I don't care about that I have to learn later in life. This is so unhealthy to not care. Like, your level of not caring is very toxic and unhealthy, and it's harmful. It's self-detrimental, you know. And Cancer's with the opposite. Get too consumed with shit, you know. You know, they care about shit to the point that they care about shit they don't care about. You know, I always use 50 Cent as an example. He don't give a fuck about Ja Rule, Rick Ross, all these niggas. He don't give a fuck about these niggas. He done tarnished part of their careers. I ain't gonna say tarnished part of their careers. Rick Ross is Rick Ross. But he done did all this shit to these niggas. He don't care about these niggas, but as a Cancer, he cared to let these niggas know he don't care about them. So, you know, shit is wild. So, when emotions are involved or just the memory, right. So, okay, so Keyshia Cole got all these energies, y'all, and then what's the house lord of her fourth house? Because the house lord is always going to give us solutions. The house lord is always going to show us, you know, what other energies the ruler is bringing to this house. So Keyshia has the fourth house lord in her fourth house lord. Venus is in the fifth house. Let me just make sure her 4th house don't start in Virgo. It looked like it starts in Virgo. Because if it starts in Virgo, that's gonna... If it starts in Virgo, that's definitely... Okay. All right, guys. All right. So this just changed a lot. Her 4th house starts in 29 degrees Virgo. What do we know about 29? What do we know about houses starting in 29 degrees? We know you hear the... Damn, she brought some karma to that motherfucker. I don't know what the fuck Keyshia Cole was experiencing in her past life, but that's why it did not take her that long to come out with them hits. Them hits was not going to wait till Saturn return time to come out. Them shits was not going to wait till late 20s or late... Hey, when she dropped her first hit, son, she came into this realm like, man, once they get me in that booth, oh, shit. Once they get me in that booth, I got so much pent-up emotion from this past life. It's going up. It's going up. So she dropped that shit in 2004. How old is she? She dropped that shit in 2004. So she's 40 years old. Exactly. Started her career very young. So I'm telling y'all, I'm fucking telling y'all, I'm dead ass. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. All that energy in the 4th house, she couldn't wait to jump into an outlet to release shit. She got all that shit going on with her mom. She got these past life energies. Where her South Node at? Look at her South Node, y'all. Look at her South Node. Look at her South Node. Where's her South Node at? Where's her... In the 7th motherfucking house. I didn't even look at the nodes. I didn't even look at that shit. Because I was just trying to... Wow. So look. We know... We looking at all the placements. These are all the things I'm looking at to determine past life energies in your life. Planets, the houses with heavy planets, a lot of planets, because that shows that's a heavy emphasis in this lifetime. The South Node placement, right? The house that the sun is in, because that's going to show me what was neglected in the previous lifetime, okay? So she got the South Node in the 7th house. She could cling on to relationships a little too much. She cling on to relationships a little too much. You know, this lifetime is about a lot about relationships for her, okay? And, Saturn was in Cancer in 2004. Found some way to get stable based off of personal experiences. Okay. I wonder if the Saturn was resonating with her North Node around that time in 2004. Okay, but back to the 4th house starting in 29 degrees Virgo. If you got a house starting in 29 degrees, you got to understand this lifetime, you're going to go through a lot of experiences. You're going to go through a lot of experiences that are pretty challenging in that house because you done accumulated a certain amount of wisdom in this house. You done accumulated a certain amount of awareness in this house. So with great power comes great responsibility. This is also with planets at 29 degrees. You are in here. You here to put finishing steps. You here to kind of, I don't want to use the word master. Nothing's ever really mastered because we're always evolving, transcending, and transforming. But you're here to basically level up from that energy, from that cycle, to prepare yourself for the next, the next life in some type of shape or form. So that 4th house starting at 29 degrees, this is why I could come with a lot of turmoil in that house. And the 4th house starts in Virgo. So that makes the house lord what? Mercury. Where's Mercury at? In the 4th house. This is another indication that she brought wisdom about this house here. She's going to deal with a lot of responsibilities and karma here, but she brought wisdom here because whenever the ruler is in that house, Whenever the ruler's in that house, your intuition brings you a lot of answers here. You don't have to go outside of yourself to another area to find answers and solutions. You're gonna develop a lot of leadership in this house. People come to you for answers in this house when you got the ruler here. People coming to you for answers when you may not even have it all together in that house yet. It's part of what you radiate here. All right? You know, a lot of you guys have the house lord in your career houses and you feel wishy-washy in career. Or you're up in the air in career because you haven't got intentional. You don't know how to use the gift yet. You don't know how to declare to the universe, this is what you want to happen in this house. In other areas of our life, when the house lords are in other areas, we have to learn how to follow the influence of where this house is leading us to go. You got the first house lord in the fifth house. There's going to be a lot of things, people, places, and things that influence you in your personal life to deal with more creative expression, to possibly put things from your first house, from your personality on the stage. You know, you're going to manifest a lot of situations where at work or at school or with your friends or in a party, your friends or somebody's always telling you to come do something in front of people or be center stage in front of people. So you're going to naturally be put in them situations to, you know, build experience in that type of way. Now, so you could do that for every house. But when it comes into the house lord being in that house, in some type of shape or form in your past life, you develop enough awareness in this house to understand what got to get done in this house. It's just that that's like the curse of the power. That's the curse of the gift. Sometimes you be too up in the air. You think you could turn it on and off in this house all the time. Essentially, you kind of can, but let's not feed that idea. You don't want to feed that idea. You know, you in this house, a lot of the time when you start getting on your bullshit or when you start concentrating and focusing on priorities in this house, you realize you have such a grasp over this house. You're like, damn, why was I sleeping on myself here? I could shift shit here like this. You feel me? Now, Keyshia got a lot of planets in that motherfucker. All right. I have a stellium in the house with the ruler in there, so I understand how it feels to have, you know, clear direction in this house, but still going through a lot of transformations at the same time. All right, with great power come great responsibility. So that's very important there. That is very important there, you know. And with Mercury in that fourth house, once again, Mercury can be overly analytical with things dealing with what the people, places, and things you're connected to and family and whatnot. And you can manifest a lot of harsh critique from family members and her mom. Her mom was probably really critical of her. And the crazy part about it, her mom was dealing with drug addiction. So I could imagine how stressful that would be, is you have a parent dealing with drug addiction and they mad critical of you. It's like, motherfucker. Shouldn't this be the other way around? I'm not even about to make any jokes about drug addiction, but so what about planets in 0 degrees? You're starting new cycles. You're starting a new cycle with that energy. So you can find yourself being a bit naive, real excited and impulsive. You're going to have a baby-like nature with that energy. So let's say you got the sun 0 degrees Leo. This might be a Leo that... this might be a Leo that... This is one of the loud, vibrant Leos. This might be your extra dramatic Leo. This might be your their life is a movie. Everything they must jump into their creative expression, or somebody's gonna feel their wrath. Leo, it can't wait. It's excited to jump into Leo energies. So that's what happened with 0 degrees here. You could kind of say you transcended in a previous lifetime to manifest that 0 degree energy. So if you got 29 degrees, you got to understand how to use your experience and wisdom to put the end to situations in your life. All right. So that's how you want to look at 0 degrees. And you could look at that with your planets and houses. All right. So yeah, that's that Mercury in there is tough. Now, Moon in Gemini. This just turned into breaking down Keyshia Cole. I didn't even get to talk about AB yet, but this is I really did kind of want to emphasize Keyshia's chart because she's kind of being the one. Well, they're both being criticized like a motherfucker. AB's getting a lot of they both getting negative criticism. AB being an asshole and Keyshia Cole being delusional. So they both hearing it right now. But with the moon in Gemini opposite her Venus in Sagittarius, another lesson dealing with understanding how to put herself in situations where she's valued. anything squaring or opposing your moon, you need to learn how to react to it. You need to learn how to understand it. And these situations, you attract them heavy. Because opposites attract, right? Opposites attract. The moon already attracts on its own. The moon already got a strong-ass gravitational pull. So opposites and squares to your moon, these lessons are frequent in your life. These are some of your biggest lessons in your life. You know? And with her Venus in Sagittarius, that shit gets her in trouble. With this alignment gets her in trouble. Probably more than everything else we just spoke about. If anything, the fourth house helps her build a lot of experience and wisdom. But that alignment get her in trouble. Because if you got... She's a Gemini moon. So what she feel like she needs is relatability, communication. Being with a partner that don't really communicate, don't really stimulate her mind, or she feel like she has to walk on eggshells when it comes to communicating with that person or expressing her thoughts. That is a very like restrictive, fucking sad ass relationship for a Gemini moon. They're gonna end up fucking somebody else. All that person got to do is give them good conversation. And they finna get intimate with somebody else. Straight up. Straight the fuck up. So all somebody gotta do is give all the Gemini moon person, all they gotta do is be in a club, be in a party, be in a function. They think about how non-stimulating your ass is. They think about how non motherfucking mind stimulating your ass is, that somebody with some fucking charisma come around and start talking to them or some shit. And then it's like, oh, they could get lost in that shit. They get lost in that shit. They want more. Feed me that shit. Feed me more relatability. Damn. Every time I speak, every time I communicate some shit, you got to reply for it. You know how to keep it going. You're a good conversationalist. Somebody gonna snatch your Gemini moon woman early. Your Gemini moon boyfriend is going to lose discipline that night. Straight up. Straight up. If they feel like, if the Gemini moon man or Gemini moon woman feel like they got to walk on eggshells communicating shit to you, or you got a problem with the way they communicate or express their thoughts or some shit, or you always being a strong ass fucking critique. They deal with being critiqued their whole life, and now their partner always got to fucking critique their way of thinking. It's like, damn, I can't even fucking be a free thinker around my partner. The fuck I'm dating you for? All right. So this is really a lot of air moons, but Gemini moon is the most with this shit. Gemini moons, this is serious business for them. All right. Now, so this is her emotional needs. Now, guys, Venus in Sagittarius Venus is not debilitated here. It's kind of neutral. But these people can become wanderers with love. These people can become wanderers with love. They could be naive with love. They could find situations where being tied down and committed, that shit might come later in life with Venus and Sag. Most of the time. Most of the time that should come in later in life, Venus and Sagittarius. And then they could be real up in the air what they love. So, you know, when I say up in the air, Sagittarius is about experiences. Sagittarius is about experiences. All right? When you put Venus in Sagittarius, now Venus falls in love with experiencing in this lifetime, with new adventures in this lifetime. Okay? So, depending on certain alignments, if they don't got alignments that, you know, don't like to be in more committed situations, or doesn't like to have their energy spread around a lot, or don't like to be super interactive in some type of shape or form, then they might be, you feel me? They might always be doing their thing. So that's very conflicting to have here, because the moon in Gemini just wants to relate the thoughts, have to exchange the thoughts, be stimulated like a Sapio-like energy. But then when you got Venus in Sagittarius, you have to learn how to have discernment picking mates. It's not just about the experience, but it's about how do you guys relate with what you guys both believe in? How do you guys relate with, you know, how can this person teach you? What meaningful memories you can build with this person, just instead of the thrill, instead of the thrilling adventure here. You know, and depending on somebody's charisma, depending on the vibrant energy or exciting energy somebody brings, a Venus and Sagittarius, sometimes they could kind of lose boundaries. Like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna just go experience this shit real quick. If it turns out bad, I'm gonna just bounce. Like, it ain't no big deal. I'm gonna just leave. I'm gonna bounce. So Keyshia Cole probably be having that mindset going into relationships, but she a whole fucking 1,000 planets in the 4th house, and she a Cancer rising. It ain't that fucking easy. She be thinking she could do that shit, but it ain't easy. You feel me? So that moon in Gemini need to understand how to build more meaningful relationships instead of just having somebody talk to you and hear your thoughts, and just the fact of knowing that they replying and they're listening and you going back and forth. No, build a relationship with some motherfucking meaning into it, man. Venus and Sagittarius got and I'm not saying that's a negative thing. I'm not saying it's negative to not want to be committed in a relationship. I'm not saying it's negative to want to be a bachelor or a bachelorette. You know, I'm not saying that. But Venus and Sagittarius people need to understand what they're doing. All right, we got Julie in the building. Yeah, we definitely outside. You know the vibes, man. NYC, you know how we doing, man. As soon as it get hot, we start bugging out. Stop playing. And I need a good plate. Next time I'm in BK, I'm finna hit your line. I need a good old plate. Did you heard? All right, so that's that. Venus and Sagittarius. If you know you don't want to be in a committed relationship, then that has to be established when you're dealing with your experiences, instead of just jumping into experience saying, let's see where this goes. But you know damn well you don't really got a serious you're not that serious about getting into anything serious. You know, you kind of feel vulnerable or scared getting into a situation and somebody start liking you way more than you like them, and you kind of want to keep your options open. So it gets, and then with this alignment, you could get a little sneaky too. You get a little sneaky too. Moon and Gemini opposites Venus and Sag, you get a little sneaky too. All right. So that one is big time there. All right. Now let me just jump into some AB alignments really quick. Now, we don't got his birth sign, all right? But for one, his sun is in Cancer. That sun falls into Keyshia Cole's first house. So this is what I was talking about on the TikTok. When you meet somebody, it could be a mentor, it could be somebody you're dating, it could be one of your parents, it could be one of your children. When their sun falls into the first house, it don't matter. In some type of shape or form, they're gonna play out as somebody that lights your first house up. The sun loves to be in the first house. So when somebody brings their sun into the first house, the house person is always gonna get like a charge up from the sun person. Either a sense of motivation, inspiration, self-confidence, boost their self-esteem, make them feel capable. People with their sun in the first house in some type of shape or form, whether the way they personally express themselves or maybe just the way they verbalize things to you. They may verbalize that you need to invest more into things in yourself, or you need to be more expressive or show the world more what you got going on personally, or you need to be more expressive in the workplace. Don't be letting them this, that, and the third underestimate you or play you this, that, and the third. So this is why they bring a spark to the first house. So who knows what AB was gaming in her head, because they both Gemini moons. So this is why they may have, I'm going to say Keyshia, because we could see Keyshia built the fucking attachment. AB don't give a fuck. We could tell the whole time AB didn't give a fuck. He was just experiencing. Keyshia was being delusional, thinking it was going somewhere. But we can't tell based off what AB may have been communicating to her, because they're Gemini moons. So they are very savvy with how they communicate. They will know how to talk to you to keep you in the pocket. And because Keyshia may have been too open with her emotions, it may have been too easy for AB to understand, like, okay, her emotions is right here. If I just say this, that, and the third, she ain't budging. But the way Keyshia was acting, it was like he was being disrespectful. It looked like she would have did anything he said. You feel me? So it looked like she really kind of lost herself with that connection. All right? She might be experiencing some things in transits right now that that's teaching her, that's testing her through right now. With all the alignments in her life that I know she got to learn to build discernment in relationships and build discernment dealing with her emotional stability, I'm not surprised she's going through some certain energies right now that's testing her. All right. And that AB sun falling into that first house, dealing with AB probably made her feel alive. probably said some shit like that to her friend. Like, I ain't gonna lie, girl. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody got something to say, but I feel alive dating. Like, I feel like a new me. I feel like a new me. And I feel understood. Because they both motherfucking Gemini moons. You feel me? I feel understood and shit. You feel me? And then, he got the Mercury in Gemini. So he got the moon in Gemini. He got the Mercury in Gemini. He got the Venus in Gemini. All that Gemini stellium ain't really gonna be invested in commitment. And then, you know, the thing about them, like I said, Mercury and Venus is gonna be pretty savvy. Both of their Venuses got them they both have Venus placements that really don't do well with committing, to be honest with you. Venus and Gemini, Venus and Sag, they're both Cancer suns, but you know, Cancer sun, it's just how you push the energy out. You can't think Cancer suns just want to be faithful and committed just because they're like private and they deal with the home environment. Some Cancers are serial cheaters, you know. So with them energies, and I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Kendi, because he said that man loved to talk. Gemini moon, but he a Cancer sun. So his Cancer sun bugs out at times and takes certain actions because this is what the sun in Cancer do. You know, like I said, the sun in Cancer ain't really kind of thinking before they take action on shit. It's water invested. So the sun, when the sun feels away, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. And when you got an air moon, you're really an intellectual being. So if you just listen to some Antonio Brown interviews right now, that boy can articulate himself. He really ain't no dummy. He just don't give a fuck. Don't confuse not giving a fuck with being stupid. Don't confuse the two. All right? He just don't care. He ain't dumb though. All right? Cancer energy can get ruthless. So, yeah, man, he got that motherfucking stellium in that motherfucker with the sun in Cancer. So Mercury, Venus he got the Mercury and Venus. They both got the same moon, but the Mercury and Venus is harmonizing in the same constellation as her moon. What does that mean? The words is hitting her heart. The moon is the heart. His words, his Mercury, his articulative words is hitting her heart, her moon that loves to hear certain shit, loves to be communicated certain shit. She probably liked that part of that post when he said he posted you ain't a superstar till you hit an R&B defense. A part of her liked that shit. Regardless of what she commented, you know, not the emotions. You feel me? And then his Venus is harmonizing in the same shit as her. So Venus and Gemini gonna have sapio energy, you know. And then that's just gonna show, you know, Venus in the same constellation as somebody moon sign. There's a lot of things here that can make Keyshia build attachment. There's a lot of things that make Keyshia build attachment. All right. And I mentioned his Pluto is in Scorpio. His Pluto's in Scorpio. So that Pluto falls into Keyshia's 5th house. We already know the 5th house is dealing with romance and sex. Pluto is very possessive. It could be controlling. Pluto can be possessive, all right? It can be possessive. It can be controlling, and it's intense. So when people got planets like Pluto, Uranus, Mars falling into the 5th house, they're going to bring a certain intensity and passion towards the intimacy y'all share. That could build more of an attachment here. And Pluto know what the fuck they doing. Pluto, people, listen. Somebody with a strong Pluto, strong Mars, strong Scorpio energy, they know when they got you in their pocket based off sex. They know when you're attached to, you know, they know when you're attached to it. And Pluto can take advantage of it. You know, Pluto could take advantage of that shit. This is being in negative energies, you know. How are Gemini and Virgo Venuses different when both are mercurial? So the difference between Gemini and Virgo is Gemini is air, so it's the masculine. It pushes out energy. Virgo's earth. so it receives more. So the Venus and Virgo person, first of all, Venus is debilitated in Virgo. All right, it falls in Virgo, excuse me. So when a planet falls, we could say it's in its subconscious state. It's almost dreaming, it's sleep. So it's not gonna deal with that energy well. So you put Venus and Virgo, both of these signs may overthink dealing with relationships, Venus and Virgo, Venus and Gemini. But the thing is, you know, Venus in Gemini don't hold on to things. Gemini is a light energy. That Gemini Sagittarius axis, they let shit fly. All right, it'll probably impress you dating people with a lot of that energy, and you think they're gonna stay mad about something, and they're really not. You know, so that's what happens with Venus and Gemini. They may push out Venus energy when they communicate, when they relate with others and whatnot. When it comes to their love language, they're gonna like Sapio like energies. They're gonna be real flirtatious a lot of the time or whatnot. But Venus and Virgo can become overly critical about relationships. It could take the responsibility to feel like they always got to work on the relationships, right? They could be real critical of themselves in relationships and feel like, damn, what I got to do to help stabilize this relationship, structure the relationship. Gemini ain't doing all that shit. Venus and Gemini ain't doing all of that shit. Venus and Gemini just going to communicate to you. Venus and Gemini are just going to communicate to you, say the thing they believe that you not saying that they're gonna gas you up. Venus Gemini just feel like as long as they keep a certain amount of communication or whatnot, or they, even when you mad at them, they're gonna feel like they got words to articulate themselves out of the situation. You know, so it's not going to be that heavy on itself trying to criticize the relationship and shit. Venus and Virgo, yes, Venus and Virgo will. Venus and Virgo will overwhelm themselves with that shit at times. So this is why the people that have harmonious relationships with Virgos or Venus and Virgos, this is why a person with Virgo energy or Venus and Virgo could end up getting their partner on a string, because when they feel comfortable enough to service and be devoted to their partner and feel like they could do that without second thinking, is this gonna backfire on me? The Virgo is gonna be the Virgo naturally. And one thing about a Virgo in love, a Venus and Virgo in love, man, I tell you this, they're gonna fight for their love. They're gonna fight for their love. And you know, I would say the positive of a Virgo or Venus and Virgo is the fact that they're gonna study love language. So they may be very critical of themselves. When it comes to love and relationships, right? But when it comes to what you love, how you love, they're gonna get down to the root of that shit. So if they're dealing with somebody that's willing to reciprocate the same efforts and whatnot, you're dealing with somebody that knows how you like your sandwiches. Knows when you kind of... The thing they might struggle with is giving you your space. You know, they might struggle with that. From time to time, but they're going to know how to situate things, stabilize things in a relationship to keep the harmony there. You know, so that's what people love about their Virgo partners, their Venus and Virgo partners. They may feel like, damn, I never had nobody try to learn my love like this. I never had nobody try to learn me like this. You feel me? It's just that there's going to be times you want to tell the Virgo or Venus and Virgo, like, all right, I want to sleep by myself tonight. Why? What's the problem? Did I do something? No, I just felt like, you know, we spending so much time with each other. I just wanted to get a time, you know, I just spend the weekend at the crib. You know, my cousin said he's going to come visit me on Saturday. So I just thought, you know, we'll just kick it for the next 2 days at the crib. And then, you know, I'll link you on Monday or Tuesday or something. I'll come over, you know, I got to come over anyway. I still got my stuff over here. Venus, Virgo, like, I'm saying though, like, you sure everything's okay? Like Venus and Virgo, sit your ass down. Sit your ass down, relax. The whole weekend you thinking, what the fuck did I do? Like, what? He spent the whole week here. Why he don't want to spend the weekend here? You feel me? Like, what's the fuck going on? Or you got the Venus and Virgo guy, or the Virgo guy in their head, like, the fuck this bitch up to? You know what? Because the woman is dealing with emotions, so the Venus and Virgo guy or the Virgo man, I ain't gonna lie, they could be a little insecure in relationships. And so motherfucker gonna be thinking in his head like, okay, all right, he probably not gonna make a big deal or outburst about it or show his concern like a woman, Venus and Virgo, a Virgo woman might. But best believe that nigga might just drive by the crib on Saturday. Like, why that light in that room on? She don't never be in that room. Is a nigga fucking her in every room right now? Is that the reason why the light is on right now? Nah, fuck this. I don't care. Let me knock on the door. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how I look. Like, so like, it's just Venus and Virgo or Virgo guys just, they gonna act like they not so, they gonna act like, yeah, you do what you do. You good. They be so concerned inside. I got a Virgo brother, not even one of my close friends, one of my brothers. Love him to death, you know, but there's times I have to tell him, like, yo, you can't control that situation, bro. And you gotta stop investigating, my nigga. If you have an intuition, shorty doing this, that, and the third, or you feel like she's on this type of time, this, that, and the third, she's playing with you, universe is gonna show the colors sooner or later, my nigga. But right now, you know, we need some valid evidence to lead you where we going right now. And in a Virgo, Venus and Virgo will stay in investigation mode at times. So that shit could kill shit. But that's like the difference between Venus and Virgo, Venus and Gemini, for real. Venus and Gemini are not gonna do all of that. Not gonna do all that work. Venus and Gemini could kind of like not even put in as much effort as they should be, for real. Venus and Virgo, you could depend on them to put in some effort to work on the relationship. Venus and Gemini might not even want to be in the relationship. You know? Fucking up their routines, yup. So yeah. And that nigga AB, look, nigga AB got a, like I said, he got a Gemini moon, an air moon, so he's an intellectual being. He deal with, you know, he's a thinker. But his Cancer sun might get him in trouble just in the state that when he don't give a fuck, he got a bunch of different perspectives and ideas on how he could articulate how much he don't give a fuck and how much he could take action on something he don't give a fuck about. So like that situation when earlier this season, when the NFL season, when he left mid game and took off his shirt, threw it in the crowd and was all over the place. At that moment, his son got hurt about something. Whatever happened, his son got emotional about something, or his son caught a vibe. And now, when it comes to reacting, his Gemini moon is giving him all the ideas. Like, yo, you know what? You could just get the fuck out of here, bro. These niggas still got to pay you at the end of the year, this and the third. What happens if you just leave right now? Fuck that shit. Fuck these niggas. And the sun in Cancer is not going to be like, yo, the sun in Cancer is not going to be sitting there like an air moon. If you have a Gemini moon and you got an air moon, when it's time for the Gemini moon, when the Gemini moon is giving you all these ideas, the air moon is, before the air moon acts, is going to think like, all right, Gemini moon giving me all these fucking ideas to react to the situation. As a Libra moon, Gemini moon, Aquarius moon, let me think about this shit. As a Taurus, sun. As a Taurus sun, Capricorn sun, Virgo sun, let me think about this shit. But if it's a Gemini moon and you got a water sun or a fire sun, it's act now, think later. So if you reverse it, it's different. So you have the Cancer moon. Let's say it's a Cancer moon, right? Let's say it's a Cancer moon and it's a Gemini sun. I told y'all the moon in Cancer is a bit more patient and has more emotional intelligence than the Cancer sun. The Cancer sun has to learn to develop that. And you could put a Cancer sun and a Cancer moon in the same. You could put a Cancer sun and a Cancer moon in the same room. The Cancer moon might feel like they fucking babysitting the Cancer moon. Like, oh my God, this unstable motherfucker. Oh, they gonna express everything about how they feel this. So that's how my Cancer moon might look at that shit. However, he gonna be all over the place. Yep. He is gonna be all over the place. So if it's reversed, let's say it's like I said, Cancer moon, Gemini sun. When the Cancer moon picks up a feeling on how to react to something, the Gemini sun is going to have a bunch of different ideas about how to take action on it. But it's going to think first, though. It's going to think before it take the action. More than the Gemini moon is going to, Gemini moon, Cancer sun. Once the Gemini moon come up with the ideas, it just depends on how the Cancer sun feels at that point. It's not about thinking. It's going to take one of them ideas from the Gemini sun. It's going to act on it. It's going to be impulsive. And then later on, it's going to be like, damn, maybe I should have thought about that shit a little bit, but Oh, well, fuck it. This is how I felt, my nigga. This is how I felt. Cancer moon, Gemini sun gonna be like, Cancer moon gonna be feeling a bunch of shit. Like, same scenario. Whatever happened in that game that made him walk out, when it happened, Cancer moon gonna feel that shit. Gonna start processing how it feel. Like, damn, I'm hot right now. I'm really frustrated. Like, these niggas don't even know. These niggas don't even know how hot I am right now. I could leave this field right now. I could bounce right now and say, fuck all this shit. These niggas still gotta pay me. But then that Gemini moon start thinking about mad other shit. Like, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? The Gemini moon is an air moon. So, I mean, it's an air sun. So even though Gemini energy can be unstable, it's still the state of air that's gonna hold the water moon in some type of shape or form. And I'm not saying he probably still want to do it, but I promise he was gonna think a little bit more before he did it. Cancer sun ain't doing none of that thinker shit. How it feels is what the fuck you get. All right? Exactly. And I am Mercedes just said his chart has a lot of Gemini degrees and energy. So what does that mean? It could be some mental instability here. Just because you're dealing with mental health or some forms of mental instability don't mean you can't be real intelligent or intellectual, you know. The most intellectual people will tell you that their mental health be off, or you got to take care of your mental health, you know, especially when you're a deep thinker or whatnot. And I think he just started, I believe, an interview after all that shit happened. He started talking about his mental health. So yes, there could be some, it could be a lot of shit he going on with his thoughts, with the mind. When you have a lot of Gemini energy, you bound to deal with that. You got a lot of air energy, you bound to deal with that. A lot of Libra energy, a lot of them thoughts is going to go towards your relationship and relationship experience and thinking about shit with other people. A lot of Aquarius energy, a lot of your thoughts is going to deal with, you know, how you deal with any type of relationship to make money, build stability, structure, or overthinking about a lot of things dealing with stability. But because it's a Mercury ruled air sign, this is double trouble when it comes to just thinking, period. Because it's going to analyze and observe every thought, every idea it comes with. And now that could just become a black hole of thinking. Because it's constant perspectives. Mercury is just continuously analyzing things. So, you know, that Cancer sun, his Cancer sun don't got time to be processing all that shit. Once his Gemini moon send one of them bitches up and his Cancer moon and his Cancer sun resonate with that shit, we taking action on this one right here. I don't got time to be processing all these Gemini moon thoughts. This Cancer sun finna take action on this one right here. This the one I feel I resonate with the most. You feel me? So yes, they both have their moon in the same place. They're not conjunct. Keyshia's moon is actually is 0 degrees. It's actually 0 degrees, so it's on the Taurus Gemini cusp. But because they have the same moon, like I said in the TikTok, this can create codependency. It's harmonious because the understanding develops very fast. But sometimes when things develop so fast in relationships, you know, it's hard to kind of get grounded, you know. And things could just spiral from time to time. And it comes down to how mature and adult these two individuals are to use communication and transparency and honesty to find a common ground. But when you have the moons in the same place, Keyshia, this is the thing about her moon being on that cusp. Taurus energy, once Taurus energy start feeling comfortable in a job, in a relationship, not even a relationship, just in the dating phase. Once they start feeling comfortable in any situation, they start thinking long-term. Taurus is not a short-term energy. They're thinking long-term investments. So Keyshia was probably, you know, her son was getting out of hand, overly investing in what long-term energy her moon was trying to pick or was picking up with that in Taurus and Gemini. You know, the sun in Libra could be impulsive too. Sun in Libra could be impulsive too. So, you know, I could see how she developed the super attachment here. It's crazy how she, they may have did a bit of trauma bonding too, because they both have Gemini energy. So they could relate a lot to the same issues that a person with a lot of Gemini energy would have. All right. So AB is so funny because AB is talking all this pimp shit, all this Mac shit. He talking all this pimp shit, all this Mac shit, but you was cuffing that, boy. You was cuffing that. Don't act like you just You just hit it and then boom, boom, boom. Like, boy, you was cuffing that, boy. I know you was saying certain things behind the scenes to her, in her ear, to gas her up, play with her subconscious, you know. I know a water-air alignment when I see it. But when it comes to the media, when it comes to, you know, keep it pimping this and the third, he showed his ass today. I ain't gonna lie. But, and I'm not saying that he actually do care for her or whatnot. I just know that with his alignments in this situation, it's very easy for him to use different forms of communication to keep her in a certain position to make her think that he probably is invested. So we look at Keyshia Cole like she delusional, but we don't know how the communication was between them for her to think and feel the way she was thinking and feeling. You know? How does his Mars and Pisces affect how he deals with conflict? Now, the thing about Pisces energy, we know Pisces energy deals with what? Our imagination, the subconscious. It ain't really dealing with reality. It's once again dealing with how we feel. It's water, all right? And it's very, you know, it got the Jupiter and Neptune feel into it. So it could be dreamy. It could be dealing with illusions. So when you put Mars in Pisces, these people sometimes are impulsive or they jump into certain situations when it comes into not only how they feel, but how they perceive things to be. They could be a little bit too aggressive or assertive with things before they even play out. It's just based off the potential of something. So even with him running off the field, that could have had a lot to that does align with some Mars and Pisces shit. And what degree is it? 28. So it's not trining his sun. Let me see. It's not trining his sun. I just want to see if it's hitting anything else. Jupiter and Taurus. So it's sextiling his Jupiter and Taurus. Yeah, so shit. Mars and Pisces squaring sextile and Jupiter. That shit'll have him. That nigga will start putting some, he'll start gassing himself up and developing his own philosophy as to why he did some bugged out shit. Why that shit was the just thing to do or whatnot. But yeah, Mars and Pisces, when they come into when they're frustrated, Mars deal with your frustration and anger. When they're frustrated and they're angry, they may jump into some delusional shit, or they just may jump ahead of themselves when it comes to the potential of things. Now, this is a magnificent placement when it comes to entertainment, creative expression, jumping into creative endeavors, because Mars and Pisces, Mars don't wait. Mars just goes. You know, Mars don't like stagnant energy. Mars like to keep shit in motion. Mars like to tread through his journey, right? So when it's in Pisces, anything dealing with its imagination or creativity, Mars ain't finna wait for none of that shit. Mars gonna tell you, you better go ahead and jump into your dreams. Ain't nobody gonna get that shit other than you feel me? Mars brings a certain passion, drive, and assertiveness when it comes to Pisces-like energy. But then again, that doesn't mean they're not gonna be assertive with illusions. That doesn't mean they're not gonna be overly passionate and impulsive at times when it comes to the potential how they perceive things to be, or negative emotions that they have. So that definitely adds on to how his Cancer sun may take action on things. He has a sun sign that's going to take action based on how it fucking feels, and then he got a Mars and Pisces pretty much motivating the sun, like, yeah, fuck that, we feel this way, so we're gonna get active. He got the sun and Mars, which the sun and Mars in your chart, just like how you need to understand the relationship with the sun and the moon. Like these are important relationships to understand in your chart. The relationship between the sun and the moon, the relationship between Mars and the sun, and the relationship between Moon and Venus. These are three very important relationships to understand. Because the sun and the moon, this is the father and the mother, the masculine and the feminine. So now you're understanding how you project what's inside of you, right? Then you have the relationship between the sun and Mars. This is an alignment people need to understand why they're stagnant with some of their goals. Because you might have a perception of something you might have a perception of your potential and what you could be, right? What you could take action on, how you could be seen, your sun, your self-identity, right? But if the sun and Mars is supposed to take on, you know, the duties and the actions and help the sun do what the fuck it gotta do. They're supposed to be on the same team. That's the first sun. You feel me? So if Mars is somewhere else, putting his passion somewhere else, and then the relationship with the sun has an awareness of something else, and they're not on the same page, now you got your actions and the things that you're goal-oriented about, they're conflicting with each other. You know, they're conflicting with each other. You have some passions that you're not putting enough awareness into to be able to follow suit on them. And then you got things that deal with your self-development, your potential, things you want to manifest in your personal, with your personal expression, creative expression. And Mars don't be putting enough fuel on that, or is not as intentional about the things the sun wants to cultivate itself to be. So you need to understand how your Mars and sun conflict, or how they align with each other, you know. So people that have good relationships with their Mars and their sun, at times, you know, you're not going to tell these people these people kind of don't need to be motivated, you know. They're going to be real intentional about, you know, what they want to take action on in their life. But if Mars and the sun are not on the same page, then you got to learn how to get them on the same page. You got to learn to be more intentional about the actions you want. You know, you could be the most motivated, passionate person in the place, but the awareness of how you direct that could be a little distorted. And then you need to understand the relationship between Moon and Venus. All right? Because the Moon is the heart. And when you get into Venus, you know, Venus is understanding how to deal with the responsibilities the Moon be dealing with. You know, so you got the Moon dealing with, you know, emotional stability, nurture, and understanding. And then you got Venus dealing with your self-esteem, beauty, charm, your value. Okay, so Venus is pretty much, once again, looking up to the Moon, is looking up to his mom. So, and if Moon and Venus have conflict in the chart, you're going to find yourself having conflict between, you're going to find yourself connecting to things you probably truly don't value. Your values and the things you're connected to conflict. You possibly have to work in this lifetime on how you value yourself, aka how you allow certain people, places, and things, environments, jobs, relationships to treat you. You got to learn to put some Venus on the Moon if they have conflict. Learn how to value how you take care of your heart. Learn how to value how you take care of your emotional stability. Now, people that have Venus and Moon harmonizing with each other, they may not have that much restriction. They may not deal with that much friction staying or remaining in underappreciated situations. They may catch on to these things really quick, all right? Or be able to at least acknowledge these things pretty quick. So those are three very important relationships to have, all right? The delusional is the fact that he can be this grown acting like this. Yeah, it's so crazy because it's like whatever the fuck they had going on, like he's doing too much. Like he's almost giving me Leo. He's giving me like, they don't got his birth time, but he really giving me Leo rising vibes. He's giving me Leo rising vibes, especially with his appearance and whatnot. He wears mad vivid colors and you know, rocking mad jewelry and accessories. Leos like accessories and shades and jewelry and different color fits. They're not gonna be like, I'm a Capricorn rising. Like we wear solid colors. Like might not be that vivid, might not be all colorful and shit. Leo rising gonna be colorful shit, but he's giving me that type of vibe. Like he always needs to be in the limelight. Like a lot of that shit could have just been. He didn't have to post her with the tattoo. Why the fuck did Keyshia get that tattoo? What the fuck, Keyshia? Gemini moons, man. Keyshia need to call me. Keyshia need to call me. Not, what you mean? What you mean by that? Now your Libra sun be showing you at times. So yeah, man, that nigga AB he doing a whole bunch, man. He doing a whole bunch, man. Gemini moons with a water sun. It's crazy how they can use communication to psych up your emotions. Because the sign that your sun is in is not just how you're going to be seen and how you express yourself. It's also going to be things that you're aware in others. So me as a sun in Libra, I'm aware of other people's relationships. Probably I'm going to naturally see some things in other people's relationships that they don't see. You guys being a sun in Taurus, you might understand something about somebody else's values. You know, you might have a lot of awareness. You're going to, when it comes to that energy the sun is in, is going to see that in others and how other people express themselves and their self-identity, right? So this is why like a sun in Leo might be a heavy critique of people's fashion, of people's music, of their art, of anything dealing with expression, creative expression, being on the stage, sports, because that's something you demonstrate pretty much your abilities on the stage or whatnot. You're performing. This is why Leos will be heavy critics in this area. Or people with heavy Leo energies will be judges in these areas. Or they'll come out with a YouTube channel reacting to certain things, dealing with entertainment, this, that, and the third. Because that's what they're aware of in others as well, not just themselves. You know, if you got the sun in water, a part of you is going to be aware of the subconscious and emotions of somebody else. So Pisces, Sun, Scorpios, and Cancers, you know, they're going to pick up on how emotionally invested somebody they're dealing with is. This is why when you're dating a water sun, even if y'all going through trials and tribulations, if the water sun can feel that you're invested, it's just that you be fucking up or something. So let's say a water moon, let's say a Pisces sun is dating somebody, right? They've been dating, they both love each other, they both care about each other, but let's say it's a Pisces woman and a Capricorn man, right? Let's say it's a Pisces woman and a Capricorn man, which that alignment can be very harmonious, by the way. I actually really like that alignment for relationships. As far as the sun versus sun. But let's say the Pisces woman dealing with the Capricorn man. So let's say, you know, the Pisces know the Capricorn man loves her. He's demonstrated his love for her and whatnot. Now, let's say he starts cheating on her or something, right? Let's say he starts cheating on her or something. And cheating is something she probably never tolerated before in her life before. But she never had this connection that she had with this man, right? She never seen the potential to start a family and get married or just take her life to another level with this man. So she starts to compromise things. If that Pisces continues to feel the cheater being invested, if the nigga is cheating, but he's like, yo, babe, like if the nigga get caught cheating, and he's like, and he's feeling bad, like he not even acting, he like, the nigga start crying, like, yo, babe, I'm so sorry. It's just like, you know, it's just some shit that I've been through in my life. Like, this is who I was when you first met me, and it was just hard to cut you off. But babe, you know I'm in love with you. You like, you know I'll do anything for you. And it's like, damn, this nigga has made mad sacrifices for me, this and that, but he cheating on me. That'll keep a water sun in motion, because they picking up on the connection. So to them it's like, okay, we just got to kind of work on this right here. But I feel the connection though. It's not like you're not connected to me. It's not like we didn't build a strong rapport. So things like that'll keep them in there. Now, an air, earth, sun, maybe not so much. Fire sun, yes. Fire sun. If it's a Leo woman dating a Capricorn sun, and then when the Capricorn man gets caught cheating and that nigga's being nonchalant, and you know when a Capricorn is being emotional, you know they mean that. When you see a Capricorn, like, babe, I'm sorry, that's not their energy. So if they in that energy, you know they's fucking invested. You feel me? They's fucking invested. But my tattoo says I'm turned out. Damn, you saying I'm damaged? Mercedes, you saying I'm damaged goods? Don't be putting. Come on, we can't be putting that. We can't be putting that on my reputation. All right, I'm a reformed Libra. Nah, I'm lying. I'm still a toxic Libra. But anyways, yeah, we ain't talking about that right now. If it's like a Leo sun, a fire sun, and they dealing with a Capricorn man or whatever, and let's say the Capricorn man get caught cheating, and he's on some like, he not even like expressive. That's the thing. That's what we dealing with fire now. The water sun needs to feel the emotion. The fire sun needs to see the expression and feel some shit. So if the Capricorn sun being nonchalant, like, yo, it happened. It happened. What you want to do? What, you gonna break up with me, or we gonna keep doing this? We gonna keep working on what the Leo sun needs to see, the Capricorn sun express some shit like, yo, listen, babe, listen. I'm fucking sorry, all right? I'm fucking sorry. You know I love you. I fucked up. Damn. Like, what the fuck I gotta do? You know I don't give a fuck about that bitch. You think all the shit I do for you, I'm gonna do for her? The fuck? All the shit I'm going through in my life, and you about to be heavy on me about this mistake? All the shit I do for now, the fire sun woman gonna be like, okay, yeah, express yourself. Let me see you get mad. Let me see you. I need to see this shit and pick up on the vibe to know you invested. The motherfucker start expressing himself all strong and crazy and shit. The fire sun gonna be like, okay, I think I could work with something. But if you give the fire sun that nonchalant shit, it's over. It's over. Air, earth. This is a different story now. Air, earth is a different story. There is a different story. Air, earth, sun probably cut you off and think later like, damn, I still love this motherfucker. Fuck. God damn it. But that was the right thing to do. I was going to keep going for that shit. That was the right thing to do. My thoughts couldn't, I'm sorry, my thoughts just, the logic was logicking. You feel me? The logic was logicking. But they still might come around. They might come back around later, you know. Might come back around later. This is just a cheat code. This is how you keep your fire, water. This is how you keep your fire, water, sun partner when you get caught. This is what you do. If your water, sun partner catch you doing something you're not supposed to be doing, cry. Just cry. Get on your knees, beg. I ain't doing that, but I'm just saying if you want to, I'm just letting y'all know. Motherfucking, the fire partners, the Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, catch you doing something, just be dramatic. Be dramatic. Start fucking shit up in the house like, damn, I thought you was the only one in my corner and I fuck up and now this is how you gonna do this. Like you gonna throw everything that we just built all cause I one fuck up. So you gonna tell me you don't fuck with me no more, you don't love me no more when you know I love you? The fire sign can't leave after that. Fire and water signs not leaving after that. Hell no. Hell no. Now the air and earths. If the air sign. Now this is gonna sound fucked up, but hey man. This is something the Geminis, Aquarius, and Libras in the chat might not admit. But when they hear this, they're going to be like, I ain't going to admit that shit, but hey, you got a point. The air signs, you cheat on a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. If they already felt like they had options, it's kind of skating on thin ice here, buddy. Kind of skating on thin ice here, buddy. Because the air sign might feel like they could go create another, their relationship sign, so they could just feel like they could go create another experience. They don't have to be tied down to what's going on in this relationship. And they probably been in a number of relationships before they got with you. You know. Now, this could be a bad way of thinking of things because this could have an air sign always feel like, you know, they could always get a new option, or it could have them not work on things in a relationship because they're going to replace your ass. So, you know, air sign might be a little bit too in their head of things. So, air sign might want to forgive you, but they having conflict with their thoughts, knowing that they should not take your ass back. But because they're air, it's easier for them to cling on to their thoughts more than the emotion here. All right? So, air sign got some options. If somebody is your air sign, you cheat on your air sign partner. And there's people in their DMs. They finna entertain them motherfuckers. They probably was entertaining them bitches already. They finna entertain them motherfuckers like a bitch. They probably gonna keep you on hold a little bit. Like, you know what? Give me a few to think about it. Give themselves 2 weeks to talk, to explore their options. Go on a couple dates in 2 weeks. Go on 4 dates in 2 weeks. And they're like, you know what? I don't need to put up with this shit. Or the next 2 weeks, they'll be like, you know what? Now I'm off the Synastry. I'm off. I'm about to close this out. But the air signs might fucking the air signs might. What the fuck I was about to say? This shit. I was talking and this shit wasn't even. It said low battery. Somebody report his live before he shares the Chico. What I was about to say about air signs? Fuck. Damn, that shit just threw me off track. That just threw me off track. All right, who's next? The air signs, then the earth signs. See, it hurts the earth signs when shit like this happens. Because when earth signs are in relationships, you know, they're not really... Earth signs are builders. They're builders, and they know it takes time to build. So once they started building something, they hate the fact they have to run into situations like this where they have to contemplate if they got to just take down everything they just built. So at that point, when you cheat at the earth sign, it comes down to how much they value what you were building. You know? And then again, this is like general, because all relationships is different. Every one of these signs can find themselves compromising and sacrificing being in certain positions. Best believe. Even I was in this position before. Thought I didn't give a fuck about a situation, and when I lost it, I'm like, all right, fuck this. Now fuck thinking I'm all cool, calm. No, I want my shorty back. I want her back. So all this shit could be bent. All this shit could be bent. All right, all that shit could be bent. Thank you for reminding me, Fashion Scut. Thank you. We're gonna jump into that shit tomorrow, for real. All right. But yeah, air signs, they're just a little bit more air. Fire and water signs, they be building connections and shit. They deal with the feelings and shit, you know. Now, fire signs do detach, but it just really depends on the potential, because fire deal with potential energy too. You know, deals with awareness and light. So fire deal with potential energy too. But when it comes into sometimes them not being appreciated in relationships, they'll detach like a motherfucker. Especially Sagittarius and Aries. But the thing about Aries, the thing that'll fuck Aries up is the fact that Aries, their mindset. See, this is why Aries don't like being in love. This is why Aries really don't like that love shit, because they don't like feeling like they have to compromise how they feel for somebody else. Like, that's just the reality of Aries. They don't like feeling that vulnerability of when they want to leave in a relationship. It's like, fuck, I want to leave, but I know when I leave, I'm going to still love this person. I wish I could just not love him right now and bounce and go back to my own individual life. I was doing my own personal thing, you know. I was doing my own thing before this person came in my life, and they start blaming the person for making... How you blaming me and we both fell in love together? How you blaming me like I planned, like I'm going to go into that motherfucker life and make them fall in love with me, and I'm going to fall in love. Like, Aries will take love like love is like they'll be victimized by it in a way. They'll act like they victimized by love, you know? And that's what'll get them really mad, because they get to the point where they want to bounce, but then at the same time, they're like... Deep down in their heart, deep down, they know they never really had a connection like this before. Deep down in their heart, they know, even though they feel the most comfortable being individual, this is a new thing that they experience in their life, and you know, they liked the things within the relationship. They can't act like they didn't. It's just that they love their individuality so much that they will be willing to sacrifice relationships to go back in their individual bag. But they deal with that type of conflict right there, because it's just vulnerable. They start to be mad as fuck at you, like, I should really fuck you up for making me love you. Like, they get mad at you because of that shit. Sagittarius, yeah, Sagittarius sometimes don't even want to even deal with the fucking conversation, the closed out conversation. Sagittarius just fly the fuck away. Them niggas just be flying the fuck away. Sagittarius is funny, man. And then when you speak to the Sagittarius a year later, a couple months later, and they're explaining why they ghosted you, they find a way to make that shit make sense. And you be like, you know what? You did need your space. You right. I mean, we were at the podium. We were pretty much, we was about to get married, but you know, and then you just left when it was time to say I do. But I mean, once you had that conversation, I guess you did what you had to do for you. They gonna find a way to articulate that shit making sense for leaving your dumb ass at the podium by yourself after 8 years, 3 years, 2 years of being engaged. And then when it's time to say I do, they caught that last minute like, yeah. You know what, Pastor? It's nice knowing you. I'm sorry, y'all. I think I rushed into this shit. It's been 8 years. You talking about you rushing into some shit. No, you just got cold feet like a motherfucker. You feel me? Cold feet like a motherfucker. And then motherfucking earth signs. Yeah, earth signs, that's just what they don't like. That's what they hate about relationships. They hate being in these type of situations because it's like, fuck, I was just building with you. So it really comes down to what they was building. So let's say a Taurus woman is dealing with a fucking... Say a Taurus woman is dealing with a Leo guy. Say a Taurus woman dealing with a Leo guy. Now, let's say this Leo guy... Let's say... Because, look, Tauruses will get into relationships on some superficial shit, for real. Both of these signs will. Both of these signs will get into relationships on some superficial shit. They'll date somebody. A Leo will date somebody just because everybody in the hood want her. Don't even really like the bitch like that. No, they probably know this shit not gonna last. It's like, let me cuff her real quick. Let me cuff shorty for the summer. Everybody in the hood want her. I got her. I'm gonna cuff her this summer. You feel me? Let niggas know what I do. Let niggas know I could pull whoever. You feel me? Leos will do some shit like that. And then Taurus energy get into a relationship with you. Taurus will get into a relationship off you because of your bread. For real, for real. They'll get married to somebody because of security. They probably number one on the list for that. I don't really like the nigga, but my bills is taken care of. I ain't got no more debt. I could just be a stay-at-home mom or barely have intimacy though. Or they find their ways to do little shit on the side. Taurus, I'm not going to put Taurus on the spot like that. I ain't going to put Taurus on the spot like that. So that's what's going on. And that's what's going. But who wouldn't marry for security though? I mean, women. That's part of your nature. Marriage and relationships is part of security. But I'm talking about a Taurus woman, a 25-year-old Taurus woman will marry a 47-year-old Taurus, a Leo guy that she's not attracted to, and be thinking in her head like this nigga. She'll marry a 60-year-old nigga like this nigga ain't got that much time left. I probably got a good 4 or 5 years with this motherfucker. I inherit all this shit and I could be back on the streets. So I'm talking about like that. I'm talking about low-level negative energy like that getting into the shit for security. You know, obviously people get married for security, but I'm talking about on some negative shit like that. Like, you don't care about the motherfucker. You don't even care about building the rapport. As soon as you find out how much they made, you was like, oh yeah, I gotta lock this one in. You feel me? But that's not all Tauruses, but that's a lot of them. There you go. First marriage for security, second one for love. My Taurus coworker be cheating with the whole. Oh, look, y'all. A Taurus will have a relationship for the sense of stability and security, and will be doing their thing on the side. Like, some Taurus women are good enough to actually be in a position where, I don't know how they pull it off, but like Taurus women could attract a lot of sugar daddies in this realm because they rule this realm. Feminine energy already rules this realm because this is Earth is a feminine planet. This is a feminine energy. So you have to learn how to receive before you push out. The more you know how to understand and receive before you take action and express, you'll see more success in this. You'll see a lot of success in this lifetime. You know, the more you're able to understand the subconscious before you go into projecting and taking action, you will see some success in this world. But this is a feminine energy. This is a feminine world. So, you know, feminine energy has a strong charge here. But then when you a Taurus, Taurus rules this realm, so you're gonna have a lot of things. You're gonna have a natural gravitational pull with things dealing with stability and security. So yeah, a lot of Tauruses, they be at, like, they'll have their work husbands, or they'll be married. They had a sugar daddy. Sugar daddy end up wanting to marry them, and sugar daddy telling shit like, look, I know this was just a sugar daddy, sugar baby thing, but listen, you know how I feel about you. I put everything in your name. Let's get married. I ain't got that much time left. Taurus women be like, all right, but I can still do my thing, right? I'm like, listen, as long as I don't find out about it. So Taurus women be manifesting situations like that. They be manifesting shit like that, you know. But that's that, y'all. This is why Keyshia Cole is a little delusional, and how she could get lost in her relationship. She's dealing with so much karma between relationship energy and her emotions. She got the South Node in that 7th house, so her whole life is understanding how to be more individual and not cling on to relationships. She got a whole 4th house stellium with 5 planets in there. A lot of wisdom she brought in this area, but still a lot of challenges where she has to learn how to apply the wisdom into dealing with protecting her heart, you know, having more discernment, dealing with her emotional stability. Then we have the Libra sun clash with the Cancer personality. You know, misunderstanding how to pace themselves, dealing with what relationships they nurture and feed. Then we got AB. You know, the Gemini moon, Cancer sun. So depending on how he feel, he got a whole bunch of ideas, you know, for his Cancer sun to take action on when he fucking feel like it. And they'll do it unapologetically. You feel me? Cancers do some shit unapologetically. Cancers will really do some shit that they know they wrong for, and they will tell you the reason they fucking did it is because I felt like doing that shit. The situation made me felt that way. So if I killed the motherfucker because I felt that way, then I wasn't wrong, my nigga. I wasn't wrong. They should have never threw that energy on me. You know, Cancers will justify murder and shit like that based off of their emotions. 25 years in a pen, they still talking about motherfucker should have never pushed my buttons. Like, damn, you ain't learned from that shit? You ain't do no motherfucking anger management in this bitch? 25 years? I thought they got guidance counselors and shit in jail. Damn. So cancers will take that shit to the grave. Cancers, Aries, they'll take murders to the grave. Cancer's more than the Aries. But both of these signs black out a lot. Both of these signs, Aries see red. Aries see red when they get hot. This is why a lot of them gotta take anger management early, or a lot of them get into conflict as children because they might not be able to stay still in class or whatnot. Aries children, like if you got Aries children, don't be having these doctors be trying to put your child, have your child take Ritalin and all this ADHD shit, ADD shit. You gotta really know if your child, you gotta know if there's something wrong with your child or not. And even if there's something wrong with your child, you gotta understand ways to deal with that shit more than putting them on medication. Because that's something that happens with a lot of Aries children here. They take the Aries child is so fucking vibrant, so much energy, they can't stay still. We got this feminine ass motherfucking fucking school system sitting down in desk for 8 hours in the fucking day, which is really just training us to be workers, to follow suit, follow lines, be in rows. So it's really just training us to be workers. Not really teaching us shit. It's just training us to follow the programs of the Matrix. And then you expect these young boys. It's one thing to be a young boy on his own and have so much vitality and so much energy as a young boy. You feel me? It's one thing to already have all that energy. You get into puberty stages. You develop all this testosterone and shit. But the Aries child, you can't expect no fucking Aries child to sit in no fucking one desk 8 hours a day. So when we were back in ancient civilizations and we had mystic schools the Aries children, the first period hunting gathering class, more adventurous shit. The Cancer children, you throw them in the shadow work area department. Like, we understood how to build the mystic schools. We were coming into this realm, understanding how to channel our kundalini, deal with our chakras in adolescent stages. You know, when back in those civilizations, when you incarnated and we seen what gifts you had, we knew, okay, this person is going to be able to read the stars in the solar system well. This person got a lot of healing properties. We need to have them follow suit here so they could become the leaders, you know, for people dealing with this magic over here or this form of magic over there. So we understood this shit. Now, once humans and man, remember now all this shit I'm talking about now, we talk about back in the day, we talking about Anunnaki times and Atlantis and shit. If you don't know what that is, Google them words, YouTube it. But we talking about back then. So back then it was way more species. It was like 7, 8 genders. We were hermaphrodites. Some of us had both private parts. So this is different. This is back in the day. You know, this is when survival mode didn't exist. Right? This is before we developed this bargaining system. You know, we wasn't born. We're born to experience. But the more as things started changing, you know, started engineering the human more, you know, and we started digressing. I really don't want to use the word digress because everything has to evolve. So it's really evolving. We're really supposed to be knowing more than they did, to be honest with you. They were just coming into grips with everything. But they were more connected to source because the matrix wasn't developed in this way yet. So we born here and we jumped right into survival mode. When they were born, they jumped right into experiencing and exploring. You know, so so I just say all of that because I know, you know, I know a lot of mothers watch me and whatnot. I get a lot of DMs. I have clients that, you know, they look out for, they trying to understand their children more. And yeah, some of y'all got children with some strong ass vitality, and then because your Aries fucking rising child can't sit still, you got all this fucking Mars energy, and you expect this little boy to stay in the seat 8 hours a day, every day. Boy, what that shit gonna end up suppressing so much energy as they get older. So this is why Aries and shit, they'll drop out of that shit. They'll drop. I bet you if we have a list of zodiac signs that drop out of school the most, it's probably Aries. It's probably the fire signs. Aries, Sagittarius, because Sagittarius, they're the ones that question the school. So as a young child, they're not gonna understand this system because they understand spiritually. Their psyche is real learning. They're Jupiter influenced, so they know what real learning is. So they could just be a child. They could just be in 4th grade, 3rd grade, and be like, probably questioning like, why do we have to stay here this long in the day? Like, they're just questioning things. You have strong Jupiter energy, you question things a lot. That's why Sagittarius are so smart, because they don't make things concrete. You know, they're not going to hear something from somebody and say it is what it is. They're going to just take that philosophy and add that to all the other beliefs that they have about things. And they're always constantly looking at things from an above perspective. So if you a Sagittarius, you was in school like, I don't get why the system is like this. Young as hell, though. Young as hell, asking your parents, like, why school got to be that long? And why we can't like learn in different ways, or who developed this system? You know, the Sagittarius spirit gonna know this is a fucking artificial way of learning. So Sagittarius gonna end up fucking dropping out. I need to see if I could come up with that type of list. My Sagittarius may have learned the system and always finish my work quickly. Okay. You feel me? So yeah, man. All my Merkabas out there, all my moons, all my mamas, all my mothers, man, don't be having a system. Know your children's energy. Know what type of environment they need. You know. I'm not really big on homeschooling because I still feel like your child need to experience some shit. You know, your child need to get bullied and learn how to stand up for themselves. All right, your child need to get into a fight. Your child need to know how to interact with motherfuckers. All right, but once the motherfuckers start throwing certain programs and shit on your child, saying your child is down the third, you better go call your astrologer. Don't be taking all the guidance counselor advice. Straight up. Straight the fuck up. My older brother is a double Aries. Yeah, Aries sun, Aries moon. You think he could fucking sit still when he was in school? Thank God, thank motherfucking God that my parents wasn't going for that shit when that idea was introduced to them. You know, they Nigerian shit. They ain't going for that shit. That's to them. That's like, oh no. As soon as they hear putting their children on medication for some shit, Nigerian parents are like, I'm sorry, we don't do shit like that in my country. Like we just finna discipline them and beat their ass. So I'm sorry. Either y'all gonna kick him out of school, you gonna move him. I don't know. That sounds too American for me. You feel me? This shit sounds too American for me. They about to be shooting my child up with no shit. You know. So thank God, because that's just gonna just end up suppressing that motherfucker, you know. Gotta know the environment for you and your children, your loved ones. And since we were talking about relationships, you have to understand the environment. I'm gonna leave this last note here since we're talking about relationships today. You have to understand the environment your partner grew up in. When you want to get to, you know, people, when we talk about getting to know somebody, man, when I'm dating somebody, I'm getting to know somebody, you know, I want to understand your motherfucking third house environment and that fourth house environment, because I know what you experience there is what you're going to project in relationships. I want to see how much you've evolved and learned from the situations in that area. Y'all be trying to get to know people and don't know shit about their fucking upbringing. You're not as curious about the relationship with their parents and shit. And then when you calling the motherfucker a mama's boy, or when a guy's calling a chick either clingy or this, that, and the third, it's like, motherfucker, if you would have known the relationship they had with their parents and their upbringing, you would have understood that you finna take on some of this. You finna take on some of this energy. You finna take on some of this emotional responsibility. You know, but we go into relationships with selfish minds, though. Especially in today's time, we're so selfish with relationships. You know, people date for their own needs and their own comfort, not understanding a relationship is like Chris Rock said it best in one of his stand-ups. He said, when you're in a relationship, you are now in a business of service. You are in the service business. There's no competition. You guys work for each other, like, you know. But hey, man, that's what we dealing with today, man. Just wanted to break down them fucking energies between Keyshia Cole and AB crazy ass. AB doing the whole much right now, you know, but they definitely have a lot of energies that brought that attraction, that brought that compatibility. And Boro, how you still claiming you toxic with high vibrational knowledge? Because I say I'm toxic, but my toxic ain't really toxic. My toxic is just I have personal ideals about relationships and dating, and I don't really speak on them like that, but I just call it toxic because I know women will view it toxic. If I say some shit on live like I'm not finna be in no relationship where my woman doesn't listen to me and my woman ain't following my lead, that they gonna start throwing the narcissistic word on me. He subscribed to red pill ideologies, and that's just the relationships I tend to go for. Like, that's just what it's certain things that's me, you know. But I just try to speak on relationships from a general perspective and helping other people understand their energies, you feel me? But yeah, I say I'm toxic because, motherfucker, I'm an alternative ass dating ass nigga. I do not fuck with commitment for real. Definitely not in this stage of my life. So we don't need to get into all of that shit, but I let that shit be known. So when I speak about relationships, that shit gonna come as raw as shit, because y'all know I'm being transparent as fuck with my energy. I'm a Libra, Sun, Capricorn, Moon, bunch of Scorpio energies. Ain't finna be no regular relationship here. Like, I got some karma I need to figure out with my relationship life too. So, shit. I ain't finna project this trauma on nobody. You feel me? But that's what the fuck going on, y'all. I love y'all. You feel me? It's beautiful weather out here, man. I hope it's beautiful weather where you at. You feel me? I was just glazing in the sun. You feel me? And all that. So we're going to jump into some Jupiter and Aries energies tomorrow and whatnot. I keep getting reminded about that. I keep back putting that on pause because that's a longer transit. I keep feeling like I could get into it. But we got to touch on that this motherfucking week. All right? I just feel like touching on some Synastry relationship stuff and whatnot. All right, family? So y'all go ahead and continue to have a productive, prosperous, and fruitful Mars day.